Venom is arguably one of Marvel's coolest characters. I mean, look at him. He's powerful, he's brutal, and he's got a really awesome suit. The Venom symbiote makes everything so much cooler. It's got us at ScreenRant wondering, how many other Marvel characters would look even more awesome if they merged with a symbiote? Let's dive right in and take a look. But before we get going, make sure to subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to stay up to date with our latest and greatest content ScreenRant is churning out daily. Wolverine is already amazing enough as it is. The berserker rage, the regeneration, the claws, and not to mention the expertly groomed hairstylings and mutton chops. Could he get any cooler? Apparently no, because when paired with a symbiote like Venom, Wolverine becomes an even more bonkers, monstrous murdering machine. Can you imagine a venomized Wolverine in a room full of baddies and how wonderful the chaos that ensues would be? We can imagine it, and we've gotta say, it's pretty flippin' awesome. And speaking of awesome, how about one of Marvel's coolest characters, Daredevil? As a kid, Matt Murdock survived a horrible accident that blinded him but enhanced his other senses to superhuman levels. By day, he's an amazing lawyer, but by night, he's the devil of Hell's Kitchen, the man without fear, Daredevil. Now, add a symbiote to the mix and it gets even better. Artist Francesco Mattina imagined both Daredevil and Electro as symbiotes, and the final results are just so brilliant. We'll take it. What about Galactus? Yeah, that's right, the planet-consuming jerk who's caused all manner of problems for our heroes, the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. Also, he showed up as a giant cloud in the movie Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer because, well, that movie hates its fans. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby wanted to create a different kind of villain, one whose only motivation was fulfilling his insatiable hunger. At one point, Spider-Man had a hallucination which starred a venomized Galactus wreaking havoc and threatening to destroy everything Peter had ever loved. Terrifying. And look, we know Venom is basically a venomized version of Spider-Man, unless we're talking about the movie Venom, which wants nothing more than to pretend Spider-Man doesn't exist. For shame. But can we talk about the symbiote version of Spider-Man real quick? Aside from that awesome black suit, the symbiote ended up giving Peter enhanced strength and abilities. Sure, it also made him into an all-around horrible human being with a bad haircut, but with some intense therapy, maybe Peter could find a way to make this look work for him. You'd think Dark Phoenix was already powerful enough as she was. Once she'd given into her darker tendencies and embraced the alien force that kicked her powers up to 11 Spinal Tap style, Jean Grey became a nearly unstoppable cosmic force, but ended up sacrificing herself to save her true love, Scott Summers. But if she'd had a symbiote by her side, there's a solid chance her reign of terror would have known no limits. It's horrifying to consider, but at least she looks awesome. The first question we have to ask is, what's the process of legally changing your name to Johnny Blaze? Because what a ridiculously cool name. The second question we have is, what would Ghost Rider look like all venomized out? Naturally, he'd look even more terrifying and awesome than he already does. We even got a chance to see the results in the Edge of Venomverse storyline. Even though it wasn't Johnny Blaze hoisting the Ghost Rider mantle, the results were still just enough to make our nerdy senses go haywire. On his own terms, Cable is already a force to be reckoned with. Cable is a powerful mutant with impeccable aim, a gigantic gun, and a cybernetic arm that would make even the Winter Soldier jealous. He's taken on the likes of Captain America, Iron Man, and even Wolverine, and in many cases, he's managed to overpower them. It's not too hard to imagine what might happen should he ever bond with a symbiote like Venom. Probably a whole manner of insanity. Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist, or maybe not so immortal considering the show's recent cancellation on Netflix. Too soon? Sorry about that. Iron Fist is known for his incredible fighting skills and his honing of the mystical power known as Chi. He's held his own against powerful foes and spent some time teaming up with his best bud, Luke Cage, as the heroes for hire. Not only would his regalia look even more fantastic should he ever team up with the symbiote, but we're willing to bet his Chi harnessing abilities would be bonkers. We're anxiously awaiting Carol Danvers' introduction into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but in the meantime, imagining her as a venomized super being and what insanity that might entail is enough to hold us over. So how exactly would bonding with a symbiote make her even more awesome? Do you even have to ask? Can you imagine her superhuman strength enhanced by the symbiote's abilities? She's already powerful, but venomized Captain Marvel would be an even more intimidating force. Not to mention her suit would be even cooler, and we didn't even think that was possible. Captain Captain Steve Rogers is such an inherently good person and such a force for good that willingly subjecting him to the corrupting nature of a symbiote is a tough pill to swallow. That being said, we're gonna do it anyway. Sorry, Steve. Seriously, think of Venom's abilities paired with Captain America's insane shield-throwing skills. It's almost too much craziness to fathom. But though this team-up might not ever happen, you can always purchase this adorable pop character to hold you over. If you need any ideas on what to get us for Christmas,
Pop character right here. Just click it, just buy it for us.
one of the latest and greatest additions to the Marvel Universe is Spider-Gwen. If you're not already familiar with the story, Spider-Gwen follows a version of Gwen Stacy from an alternate universe. In that universe, it's Gwen who's bitten by a radioactive spider and gifted with amazing abilities instead of Peter Parker. In an even crazier twist, Peter ends up becoming a version of the Lizard. Yeah, it's weird. What's not weird, though, is the idea of Spider-Gwen getting all venomized out. Increased powers and an even cooler suit. We'll take it. A daughter of Thanos with the power of Venom? We're not sure if it's a good idea, but we're willing to run with it. Gamora has already been dubbed the most dangerous woman in the galaxy, and her merging with a symbiote is sure to reinforce that title in spades. Beyond her being a force to be reckoned with, she'd probably end up striking fear into the hearts of all of her enemies. The suit design is utterly terrifying. It would make a good Halloween costume, though. And what about the master of the mystic arts? Doctor Strange teaming up with a symbiote is not only enough to evoke nightmares. We're willing to bet this version of the character would be more than capable of giving you actual nightmares. Like, he'd be so much of a jerk, he'd totally pull a Freddy Krueger and terrorize you to the point where you wouldn't dare fall asleep for fear of never waking up again. Yeah, maybe he'd look cooler, but we're perfectly fine with Doctor Strange the way he is, thank you very much. The Merc with a Mouth. Deadpool is already so wonderful and perfect the way he is. It's tough to even try and think of him being any other way. But when it comes to him mixing it up with some symbiote action, we're not gonna lie, it sounds pretty great. One story, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe Again, actually revealed what would happen if Deadpool ended up getting the Venom suit. Naturally, he ends up eating Spider-Man, because that's exactly what a venomized Deadpool would do. Wonder if he tastes like a chimichanga. Tony Stark's impressive intellect and unmatched ability to place a witty comeback are unparalleled in the Marvel Universe. He's already got the know-how to create some awe-inspiring hardware and amazing suits. Can you imagine what a little symbiote technology would add to the mix? Looks like a lot of spikes and crazy tongue. Not only would this be an incredible addition to Stark's collection, we're willing to bet he'd find a way to use the symbiote to develop new technology for his suits. Not too shabby. Since his first appearance in Fantastic Four #5, Dr. Doom has developed a reputation as one of Marvel's greatest villains. IGN would even go so far as to call him the greatest Marvel villain. It's no wonder why. The guy is so dastardly, so arrogant, so purely evil. Well, let's just say they don't call him Dr. Doom for nothing. Throw Venom into the mix and Doom's lust for power increases tenfold, along with his strength and abilities. He's pretty much unstoppable, and he looks so cool. How do we make this version the norm? Quick question, if Groot ended up venomized, would he still only be able to say, "I am Groot," or would his signature catchphrase morph into, "We are Venom Groot, Grunum"? Actually, how about you just let us know what you think it would be in the comments below, because we have no idea. One popular Venom storyline involved his escaping into outer space and meeting the Guardians of the Galaxy. Venom ended up merging with Groot, and the resulting lifeform was disturbing to say the least. Thankfully, Drax was able to overpower the new Venom Groot, but we can't help thinking Groot's new form looked pretty great. And let's not forget Groot's best buddy and inseparable partner in galaxy guarding, Rocket Raccoon. After Drax managed to beat the venomized version of Groot into submission, the symbiote decided to bond with Rocket instead. The resulting creature not only looked cool, but ended up bonding Rocket with his trademark weapon as well. He was even able to store ammo and other artillery in his body. The venomized Rocket ended up becoming a bounty hunter, even going so far as to try and kill Captain America. Not as cool as venomized Groot, but you can't win them all. Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, has never been considered one of the most powerful heroes in the Marvel Universe, but make no mistake, Hawkeye is a total bamf. He might not have any superpowers, but he gets the job done. Paulo Siqueira and Rachel Rosenberg's rendering bulked Hawkeye up and gave his bow a sleek symbiotic-inspired style. Last but not least, the master of magnetism himself. Magneto is already considered one of the most powerful mutants out there. But can you imagine how much more unstoppable he'd be if he bonded with a symbiote? The possibilities are endless, and we're not gonna lie, pretty exciting. We imagine the resulting mutant-symbiote hybrid would create all kinds of headaches for not only the X-Men, but the Marvel Universe as a whole. Plus, Magneto's Venomized costume ends up looking even more threatening and intimidating than the original. Well, Venom fans, have you been sufficiently convinced that every Marvel character is cooler when they're Venomized? Who do you think is the coolest Venomized character? Are there any other Marvel characters you'd like to see Venomized? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time.